What's going on? What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Thursday night PFO. And we got to kick things off with Barry being a member for 4 months. Thanks, Barry. Appreciate the support. Cheers.
Oh, cheers to Barry. Barry's awesome.
Cheers to Barry. So I think Vince might join us sometime.
That'd be great.
I think he will. I think he might join us. Let's see. Vince.
Oh, hi, guys.
Vince, what's going on?
Apologize. I had some camera issues.
We figured you just woke up from a nap, maybe.
No, I woke up from my nap about an hour ago, so I'm good.
Okay, good.
There you go.
Pre-napped, all ready to go.
Awesome. We got a bunch of people starting to join in the early crowd. Dun, dun, dun. We had Dr. John said, "Let's go. Happy Thursday." We got Chase Chaser hanging out with us. We got Gustavo. Look at that. Finally get to catch PFO alive. So thanks for catching us live. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, live's the best way to do it.
And of course, Dr. John. We got Never Ask hanging out. Pop Funkos.
All the stats. Look at that.
Look at this. Uh-oh. Pipsqueak. What's going on? Let's see. Hawk smash that like button. That's right. Hawk smash it. Thanks, Chris, for joining us. Evelyn, thanks for coming by and hitting that like button too. See, everyone's on it. Look at these. What's going on? Sir Bass, we got David, we got Mock Guinness, we got Cross Saved hanging out with us. We got Kicks Collecting, we got Gerald hanging out with us. And look, what? We got David hanging out for 9 months as a channel member.
9 months.
Everyone being channel members. Don't forget you can use your free super chat if you haven't done that, if you're a channel member too, and you get some cool like extra emojis and all kinds of other cool highlights and stuff like that.
Riley, we are loving Echo. So I hope we can carve out some Marvel talk tonight. Positive Marvel talk for the first time in a long time. I am super excited right now for Marvel.
All right, we got Vince. Vince's Wi-Fi now. Actually, he upgraded. I heard he upgraded.
Let's not go too far. So it was just
money went to the upgrade. Something.
Yeah, I'm gonna just knock on wood and hope that I'm not, frozen at any point this evening.
It looks good so far. It looks good.
Yeah,
man.
Thank you.
Thanks for being a member. 15 months, man.
15 months, dude.
Months and months. That's crazy. Magma's been 10 months a member. Happy PFO. Happy Thursday, everyone.
Have we been doing this for 15 months now?
Been doing it a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
Have we?
So what's going on? Men in Black, The Lost. We got Randy hanging out with us. Riley hanging out with us, like he said. Who's loving? We haven't watched Echo yet. We're just getting through What If finally. Last 3.
I need to catch up on What If, but Echo, we watched the first 2 episodes. Please, no spoilers tonight. But we are thoroughly enjoying it, and I think they're doing a good job because I feel like a lot of people don't know who Echo is, even though she was in the Hawkeye series. They do a really good job of recapping without like dragging out the story of her presence pre-Endgame, through the blip, and then through Hawkeye.
Fun. I like when they do it that way.
Yeah, and I also really like the way they did it with bringing in other well-known characters right away. So you don't have to wait until like the last episode to see people that you are familiar with. And the last thing I'll say, what did you say, Josh?
We might have to talk about a couple. They kind of already spoiled.
Yeah, actually, yeah, we probably will because we got some new pops to talk about. But the other thing I will say, kind of on the flip side, there was a lot of Star Wars news this week. The one thing that Echo does really well is fantastic female character, like female lead character. Like you really can just see like all the trauma and everything she's gone through, and you can, I don't know, like you really want to find out where this story is going. So I think they're just doing overall a great job.
Gerald has a question we might have to address tonight.
Yeah, what is that? What does that mean?
Well, we talked about it a little last week, so we might have to just talk about it more. I saw some people posting some stuff, which was interesting. I don't think I can't remember if I saw someone video or something pop up, but maybe more on that. We'll have to talk about that definitely. Yeah, we got a lot of great things going on.
I know. I gotta watch What If season 2. The other thing, Sirbass, you don't have to wait until it completes. They dropped all the episodes at once, which I think is a great decision.
They dropped it on
Echo did
Hulu
all of
as
them.
well, right? Did they drop all of them on Hulu? Because I saw it on my
Yes.
Hulu.
Yeah, we thought we were gonna have to reactivate Disney Plus, but then we just saw the promo on Hulu, and we've been watching it on Hulu. So.
Oh,
I think
really?
it's only-
What the
yeah.
heck am I paying for Disney Plus for then?
Yeah, you can watch
I'm
it on
actually
Hulu,
surprised
which
that
is
they
great.
did that.
Well, you can't watch What If on Hulu. So
Yeah.
What If it is good? I only got through a couple episodes of What Ifs, but
I enjoyed season 1. Season 1 was great.
yeah, season 1's good. First couple episodes are good.
So it sounds like Gerald posted a little bit about taking a pause on sodas. Well, we talked about they should take a pause. Like they had to figure out what they're doing because they went crazy and they did.
I think what they needed to do was just slow it down. The pause, I don't know about. So DPJ just said, "I want this stuff." I did watch their video. I watched their video yesterday, I think.
Oh,
it was actually, you know what? I enjoyed it. It was a good informative video from a retailer. Basically, what they were saying in their video, just sum it up. You guys can go watch it for yourselves. You'll enjoy it if you like the soda talk. But I'll kind of surmise what they said and what I've heard from people that have reached out to us over the last couple of months have been pretty much the same kind of deal. Is that they were more or less saying that on their sheets for what they could order, basically nothing, like common releases, nothing is showing up at least until the summer of 2024. And at that point, you got to see what they're going to do. Are they going to reevaluate? Are they going to, just stop the line altogether? Are they pause?
Well, it seems like they're not slowing down with the rewinds, and I think that's a huge mistake if they're going to slow down with sodas and keep pumping out the rewinds.
Well, I think that's what they're thinking. And what do we know? Maybe maybe the rewinds are selling better.
If they replace rewinds with sodas, that will be one of their biggest mistakes.
I 1,000% agree. But are they selling more because they're able to get out in more places? Are they selling more of the rewinds than they did the sodas? Are they making more money? That's what it's going to come down to for them.
I mean, that would be
hate it.
I don't see, I see a few people here and there posting mail calls and pockets of collectors with rewinds, but I mean, there's complete groups dedicated to sodas, and there's people buying and selling sodas every single day, people hunting for chases and getting excited when they pull a chase, and posting their wish lists and in search of, and I don't think you're ever going to see that level of excitement over rewinds.
No, I don't think you will either.
I'm just saying that I think rewinds could have a place in the Funko market, but
more of a place than pop pins.
Yeah, I agree with that. But man, if they need to keep their ear to the ground, or they need to get people more out there and see what's going on, because there's a lot of people right now who I know are definitely bummed that there's not as many new sodas coming out.
I mean,
slow down. Go ahead. In general. No, I'm just saying it. We've noticed that it slowed down. We haven't. Had that many new ones to crack open even.
Well, what you just said, Jot, is exactly the problem. They really, they killed the momentum that they had. I thought that they had on the sodas. They've killed it over the last 6 months or so we said it. They were releasing too much too fast. And those common, full run, you get the Turtles movie and they dropped all the Turtles, and now they just did the two on the Funko shop. What was it? Maybe yesterday, which they announced a long time ago. I think that we're going to definitely still get con sodas. I think that will happen. There's a couple that they announced that we still haven't seen. Velma's a great example of that. I'm waiting for that Velma. We've got lines to complete.
Marty McFly still.
Marty McFly. We could probably there was an Ezra, I think, that they showed at one of the cons. It was on one of the big screens out on the cons. So there's definitely some stuff that they still have to come. But are we only going to see them during the cons? Man, I hope not.
Funko
But
shop exclusive only kind of thing, or what?
What, for con only sodas?
Like,
yeah,
well, no, just sodas. Yeah, in general, like
I think that could be okay. You know, if they give us like 10 con sodas or something. Like if we're not going to get sodas all year, and then we're only going to get them at like major cons, or if they did like a Target con soda and then a couple WonderCon sodas, like there's enough events where they could attach sodas to, if that's what they're trying to do, like to get them hyped up like that. But I also think that that would really hurt the small retailers, because the small retailers have used sodas to sell and market their company and their brand and everything. So I think that would kind of hurt the little guys and the medium.
I think it also hurts because listen, let's be 100% honest. Like we've said it a million times here. It's, for most of the people that watch us and for us, like it's a huge part of our collections and like we love it. But I think that the sodas are very niche. Like in the grand scheme of Funko collectors, I think it's pretty niche. So in saying that, what I don't like is the momentum that they had. Man, it feels like it's dead. Like I picked up some sodas today for 50% off, basically Hot Topic and box lunch today. But it's stuff that I already have. You know what I mean? Like, and really after this round, like after I get these in, there is zero reason for me to pick anything up after that. And like, there's nothing really to get excited about. And I don't know. I think it's a bad decision on their part because we are Funko or soda collectors.
Well, I think that if they just watched one of our streams, and I know they have, like they've told us they've watched PFO several times. So like if you just see, and our community might be a very, very small portion or pocket of the Funko community overall, but I don't know. Like I think we haven't had a single conversation on a live stream for the past 2.5 years without talking about sodas. Like there hasn't been a single night. Like
I think one of the things too is sodas are for collectors, not for everyone. I think that's the difference I find. Like sodas are people that get into the niche, they get into collecting them, they like them because they're limited, they like the collectibility of them. Everyone doesn't know what they are. And I think that's where it benefits though, because it does fill that niche of a different collectible there is. But like we have talked about, they wanted to expand them, and I think they didn't realize they can't expand them. Yeah. So I think what happens is, they realize the undernumbered it's not going to really work. It's not great for the retailers that have them. It's a pain in the butt. They have to lock them up. They have to put them in these like lock cases and all this kind of stuff to sell them, because people are going to rip them open, crack them open, and won't buy them. But it's also
that's with any blind box or any mystery. Like look what's going on with the Lego CMFs. Ever since they switched to boxes, they're getting destroyed in the stores. I mean, that's with any blind packaging that offers the chance at a chase or the chance to get
mystery minis have always been that way.
Yeah, mystery minis. Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, I think CrossSave had said, the two that dropped at the Funko shop today are unnumbered, or yesterday, whenever they dropped, are unnumbered. The first round of the turtles were unnumbered and were to retailers, and I'm sure that they could not pawn these. Actually, one of them
sold out.
Walmart.
One was a Walmart, right?
One was Target. Was Splinter originally Target?
I think so.
Never got Target. I don't know if he ever got the Target.
But to address why these were unnumbered, these have been in the works for like 10 months.
These are that last round of
so these are not anything new. These have been pushed back and delayed, because the movie came out a while ago. Wasn't the movie over the summer?
Now, I wonder if evaluating this stuff and what's going on and what's happening is actually going to benefit soda collectors too. If they decide to go with it in a more niched approach and not go crazy with it and go back to kind of how they were dropping stuff originally, that might be better. Now, it's not going to be the biggest money maker for them, like overall, but it's going to sell well, and you're going to keep your retailers, smaller retailers, happy, and give them something that your big retailers aren't going to get. That could be a benefit too, like for them to keep that niche collectible part. Like Funko needs two sides. I think they need a collectible side and they need a retail mass side. They need
We're gonna
both
make
sides
money
to
side.
survive. Yeah, to survive, they need both sides, and things like like we talked about the pocket pops and stuff like that, like the bitty pops and things like that are your mass side, right? And then you need things that are numbered, limited, maybe exclusive, harder to get, that become your collector side. And if they have both of those, they can make a lot of people happy. They can still make a good amount of money, but still have something that has that limited, hard to get, you know, hard to find, those kind of pieces out there.
Yeah, and I mean, I think John said it as well. I mean, can they go to a con release of sodas and make everybody happy? What do we have? Like, there's 4 different. Is there 4 or 5 different like cons, or between their Funko Fair, which I think is coming up soon. You got SDCC, NYCC, ECCC,
Yeah.
FunCon, like, you know what I mean? That like they could probably
like,
they
there's
probably
so many
could do it
events
that way
throughout the year. I mean, I don't know. Just this whole thing seems so bizarre in terms of sodas after the year that we just got. I mean, we got release after release. We got a record amount of coolers. We got more 3 liters. We had sodas not only in the take home Fun Days boxes. There was very exclusive sodas at Fun Days that were given out. The last social media Freddy was a soda. And then on top of that, we also had sodas in the Fright Night boxes. So I don't know. And like, why would they go so hard with something? They have to know that it must have sold well to an extent. Like, and then they just go cold turkey for 6 months. Like,
yeah, I mean, they must just not make they must not make that much. They must, I'm sure that it's more expensive to produce with the aluminum can and that whole thing. Maybe the figure is expensive. Maybe that's why they had to charge what they charge, versus, I don't know. I mean, listen, if they made really good money on it and they're stopping it or going to delay it for whatever amount of time, I mean, that doesn't make good business sense. So I just can't imagine that's the situation here. They may still want to keep people happy and do the con releases like we're talking about. I don't love it. I kind of hate it, but it would be nice if they go to smaller runs. Like I remember when that Velma was leaked, I think it was only a 7,000 piece soda, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So if they do con sodas at 6,000, 8,000 pieces, I think I could probably be okay with that, especially if they do that 4, 5, 6 times a year. Is it what I want? I would rather go back to the way it used to be, where we'd get, 3 or 4 released every month. And you get about 40 a year. Like you said, John, you get around 40 a year for those first 2 years is what I'm guessing.
And and don't make 6 to the 40 Jack Skellington.
It's like that. You know what? Like we're complaining. Maybe it's going to be better. And I'm just trying to look at the half glass full approach here, but maybe it's going to be better. Maybe they're going to do what we kind of said that they needed to do. They needed to slow down on those big releases and that kind of thing.
Slow down is different than just stop.
But I think
I am agreeing with that.
How far out they have to kind of like gauge everything. It might have been like we still have some trickling out, they know, over the next few months.
Yeah.
The big question, I think, for anyone, like someone asked me about this too, a question about this, and they sent me a message like, is it true? And I said, really, we'll find out when they do the Toy Fair UK. If they don't show any sodas at that point, it will be really curious then if they're doing sodas at all. They don't show any kind of new release stuff. Those kind of things, that kind of piece onto it. But one other thought I had too, I think a big proponent of the push for sodas was Brian Mariotti.
Oh
Like,
yeah, for sure.
I think it was his thing that really made them take off and go, and he really pushed it. They did a great job on push on social media, which died off too. Like they did a great thing with like their Soda Saturday stuff they were doing. I think I started it. They copied off, like took it off of me, but
Just saying.
ran with it and went with Soda Saturday and like was doing giveaways. And Brian Mariotti was doing giveaways through his Twitter account for people and stuff like that. So I think they also kind of lost their super hype around them when Unnumbered came out, when they stopped kind of sharing them that way, when retailers had too many to buy at once, too small retailers, they couldn't order all these sodas because you have to order so many sodas because people don't often buy just one soda. They're going to buy at least 2, maybe 3, maybe a whole case, you know, like because they want the chase and things like that. So, but we do have a 1-year, 12-month anniversary for Down Under collecting.
Steven,
for being
it's
a
amazing.
member.
Happy anniversary.
It's amazing. I don't know. I'll be really bummed because I definitely fell in love with the sodas, and I've always like looked forward to the next release, and I still have a bunch of chases that I want to get and everything. So I don't know. I find it bizarre right now.
I'm right there with you, man. I miss opening them on the videos. I miss them. I miss them. I mean, we complained about piece counts getting too high and that kind of thing, and you know, I'm hoping that we get the best of both worlds. I hope that we still get, 30, 40 a year. And I hope that they're more limited, and I think that if those two things happen, I don't think we can complain too much. Might be released in a different way than we expected or thought that they would be. But, I don't, I wonder how many sodas are still left out there unopened. I can't believe how many stores I've went into like over the summer, a couple of stores where they just had tons and tons still not open from, 2020, 2021. So, maybe they didn't move as fast as as fast as you thought they did.
Well, I think, the same argument we talked about with pop pins. I kept making them. But we didn't see a hype around them. But the thing is also sodas is one of the things that on the aftermarket still had some sales where pop pins, there's only like one pop pin or maybe a few pop pins. There might be like 5 pop pins out there that have some value to them. One is the one that was first given out. It was the golden Freddy Idol pin. That was the ultimate pin, right?
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah, and I have that one. I actually bought it. I think I bought it from Box Attack. Dom from Box Attack, he was selling his, and I wanted to grab it. But that's it. Like there's a couple other exclusive, like more limited, harder to find ones. But that was it. There might be like 5 out there. Or sodas. Look how many chases have some great value and people still love them, collect them, get them. So sometimes the aftermarket tells you a lot too about something. Like if everything
for sure.
Like that means there is a collectability, a love for it. You just can't go crazy and do something where you're doing unnumbered stuff and go crazy with it.
Well, I think actually unnumbered could have worked because there are some unnumbered sodas that are pretty desirable because at the end of the day, there is a huge factor that comes into play. And that is, of course, with the character. I mean, look at the Across the Spider-Verse sodas, the Miles Morales, the Gwen Stacy, or Spider-Gwen, the Spider-Man 2099, like those sodas are pretty highly desired. And that's just because there's no other like Miles Morales numbered alternative, so if you want to get those characters as sodas, I don't know how many people like asked us when those came out, like, are you going to rip them on the channel? Do you have extras of them? I think we got a few of them in collections. And I mean, we did not sell, or I refused to sell any unnumbered sodas, but I mean, people were like offering us money every time we got a Miles Morales in. Like those were pretty desirable.
I was literally, these words were about to come out of my mouth. Shazam did kill the sodas. I was going to say, John, how many requests have you got for Shazam sodas?
Well, I got 0 requests for Shazam.
And really, that is kind of what killed it. I think when they started to go to those releases, like they do with Pops, where they're releasing 6 sodas or 7 sodas for a movie, it's just got too crazy. I mean,
Yeah,
I
but
think the
unfortunately
coolers
those,
could work too, but even the coolers, they needed to space those out more. They
but even
dropped
the
too many coolers all
Shazam,
at the same time.
the Shazam sodas are actually really good. Like the
Oh no,
difference
I'm not
between the
saying anything
spaces
about
and
like
commies.
I think
some of
just
the
Shazam.
unnumbered sodas have been some of the best of the year. I would put them up there with some of the best of the year on some of them. Not Shazam.
Oh,
I
look
mean,
at
I'm
like the
not
Black
personally on
Panther
Shazam,
ones.
but
Black Panther had some great ones.
Black Panther had
Yeah,
some
the
great
Black
ones.
Panther sodas were awesome.
Spider-Verse had some great ones.
Yeah, there was, so it wasn't
What
necessarily
if?
the figure choices. They could have made all the Shazam sodas limited to 2,500 pieces each, and there would be still people that wouldn't buy them because Shazam
I wouldn't
2
have bought one.
was one of the worst performing DC films ever. Like, so it's same thing. Like Aquaman 2 just came out and that bombed at the box office. So
Did it actually come out? I didn't even realize it came out.
yeah, it
That's
came out like before
yeah,
Christmas.
it did.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it came and went.
Is it already on HBO Max?
Yeah, Eternals. Eternals is not desirable at all. So I don't know.
There's always going to be those, though, and that's fine. Like there can be those lines that do terrible, as long as there's lines that do well too in the mix. And I think that's Funko always realizes that too. They have stuff kind of like we've always talked about contract wise. They might have to produce so many of or so many characters from or things like that when they license a certain movie or show or something. But also then they have stuff that they do keep as a smaller group of things and come out with slowly. There was a lot of great leaks, that came out recently that are leaks for the year, that might be potential pops and things like that coming out. So
Yeah, and the leaks look good because they look like some different stuff that we haven't got 15
yeah, there's
variations
some
of.
same things that maybe need some additional stuff to it, which is always cool. I mean, one of the lines I would love to see a couple more from would be a Gravity Falls. Like there's several like key characters that they never made into pops. Like that would be cool. As long as they don't go, hey, we need to produce 15 of them at once. That hey, we need to produce 4.
That's what I've always said, and I remember we had a discussion like this before. I'd rather them do 3 this year and do 3 the next year and space them out, and instead of dropping 6 commons all at the same time. And there's definitely things. I mean, we talk about it every week. There's definitely things that we'd like to see a little different. I'm curious to see how the pop drops are going to go this year, and I'm very curious to see how because I need more sodas than when we have. We definitely got to finish some of these lines up at a minimum.
Here's a good thought. We had our first Funko Shop sellout in minutes, right? Under 2 minutes, I think. One thing with this, it was limited to 12, which they have never done, I don't think, with drops. Usually it's limited to 2 until several hours later. But who was buying it? Like, were they actually a sellout, or was it a bunch of people going back and buying over and over again?
I think when you do a limit of 12 and you have, like, if I'm a retailer, I would probably want to buy 12 of those.
Well, 12, and then if you buy 4 of you are sitting around, you're a retailer,
right?
You have 4 other guys with you, and say, everyone get on, buy 12, then
I think that was probably a legit sellout. I don't think that we'll see a restock of those. I mean, I wish they wouldn't. I wish they wouldn't do that either. But it's hard when you don't see any sellouts. I mean, for the part of it is like they might as well put the limit at 12.
I don't think it was a marketing ploy. I don't believe that. I've seen a couple people say that, like Funko, like fake sellout, and then they would like restock it, but they really have more to put up. They're just holding them back.
It's happened before, unfortunately.
Yeah. How about some of the die-cast, early die-cast?
I remember the Spider-Man pop was like that.
Can we get
I
rid
was
of
able to get that on a restock.
really quick? Can we end it? Can we trade something? Like, can we trade a few things? Like, I will trade diecast to keep sodas. Like, there are certain pop lines and certain products. Like, if we have Funko, if you're listening, if we have to take like 4 or 5 different items and say, here, don't make these anymore, take that money.
I
and
feel
put
like
it
we
back
won't
in
see
the sodas.
diecast anymore either.
Ah, God, I hope not. Like, oh man. Yeah, the okay, so the movie theater thing. So this is we should talk about this really quick. So because this does affect you know, pop culture, and you know, Funko's a company that is centered around pop culture, and they make products connected to relevant things. So Tim says movies are bombing because fewer people are going. Instead, people are waiting for streaming. Now, do you guys think streaming is overall good or bad? Because I'm starting to think that streaming, or the availability of these movies coming to streaming platforms so quickly, is actually hurting.
You know what? You know what it is, John? It's exactly like what we're talking about right now. There's no hype. There's just no, and when you don't have that excitement, like with when you're waiting for movies to come out at the movie theater, and part of it, I think, is, you know, there hasn't been a ton to like look forward to. Like the Marvel stuff has been kind of not
Yeah, Barbie
fantastic.
movie, John. I know
More
you've seen
more
that.
myth than hit.
Yeah, it definitely a lot more miss than hit. And you know, I think when you don't have that, I think that is kind of part of it. It's that marketing part that, you know, you got to get people excited to go back to the movie theaters and like go see these. And now we're getting in such a routine that, yeah, I think that is partially what it is. People are just, you know, they'd rather just stay home and, you know, watch at home. So you don't get as much hype. But I mean, like, look what happened with Barbie, though. Barbie's a perfect example of hype. All that people were talking about was that people made that an event. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why that's why people were dressing up and going to watch the Barbie movie. Like, you need that kind of stuff, I think. Now it's going to take more to get people excited with all the streaming options that you have. You just can't put out even a good movie anymore. Like,
But
there's
that's
got to
the
be
thing
something else to
too.
it.
Like, there's certain things like I don't like. I'm just not gonna watch. Like, whether I can stream it from my house for free or I can go to the movie theaters. Like, I think Wayne kind of hit it on the head. Like, the movie quality is the issue. And Raleigh just said for the first time he missed a Marvel movie opening weekend, and he's waiting for the Marvels, or if the Marvels is already on Disney Plus. Like, I don't really have any interest in seeing the Marvels. Period. Like, there's so much content out now, and there's so much stuff. Like, I don't know. Like,
Secret Invasion was so bad. It like I was hoping Secret Invasion would be okay, and I'd be excited to go watch the Marvels because just yeah, none of it's been
I
great.
used to be a huge movie person, and I think, you know, just kind of cut down first timing and everything like that, because I can't go to a movie at like 9 o'clock and then you don't get out to like midnight after 30 minutes.
No,
of
I go to
previews
the
and
5
everything
o'clock show.
like that, you know, like. But it's also like with that, I've seen 2 movies in the movie theater in the last probably like 6 months. 2 movies, and that's it. Like, I used to go a ton of times, but the 2 movies that I saw, one of them was the Godzilla -1, which was really good. A friend said, "Hey, we're going. You guys want to all go?" And first, I thought it was just going to be me, and then everyone in the family were like, "Yeah, we want to go check it out." You know, like Shannon and Jack and our friends, all of them went and stuff like that. So they had a good, actually, like a family deal with 4 people could get tickets too. It was like kind of nice to have things like that. But there's also the other one was Spider-Verse. So Across the Spider-Verse was the only 2 movies that I went to see. I think those were the only 2 movies I was like hyped to see. Like,
I don't even know if I've gone in the last 6 months, which is crazy. Now that you're saying that, I don't even know if I have.
All right, so why Vince have you not gone? Like, is something like nothing lured you in enough, or was it the prices, or like what?
No, it's definitely not the prices. It's 100% just not. There's not been anything that's, you know, like Into the Spider-Verse is a great example. Like, I liked the first one, but like I didn't need to go see that one. Like, the next movie that I could say that will make a point. Like when Thor came out, I made a point that we went the weekend that it came out. Man, was that whatever.
Yeah, I still haven't
It was
seen
pretty. It was bad. It wasn't good. It wasn't like horrible. It just wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Ant-Man was the same way. I don't even know when Ant-Man came out, but
Yeah,
I was excited to see Ant-Man.
I was very excited for Ant-Man. That
was a bummer.
Yeah, that was.
You know, and now all the hopes are resting on Deadpool at this point. So that's going to probably be the next one that I would be excited to see. And I think that that's 100% what it is. Like Into the Spider-Verse, I still haven't watched it, even though it's streaming now. I know that Luca's already watched it and he loved it. And it's not a priority just because everything has not been that great.
I also think kind of what plays in a factor with us is we went and saw, I think, 3 movies in 2023. And one of the things I really didn't like was the amount of previews. I timed one of the movies we were in. I forget which one it was, but there was 42 minutes of like previews and like I never understand
really that much.
Yeah, it was insane. Like the movie said it was going to start at 5 or whenever it was, and it didn't actually start the movie until 5:42.
That's the same when we went to watch the Godzilla movie. We were like, the movie's supposed to start at this time, and we were watching it. We were like waiting for like all the regular just movie previews.
Yeah,
it wasn't movie previews. It was like commercials. After the time the movie was supposed to start. It was literally like 20-30 minutes after the movie started. It finally started.
Well, let's start critiquing the movie theaters. Let's do this.
Well, and like I understand, like going to a movie should be an event, right? Like it's a big deal. Like movies, I mean, to go to the movies, you're paying good money and you're paying for an outing, you know, and that's a big deal for a lot of people, and it's a big deal for us. Like we look forward to it. You're going there, you're paying your $50 or however it's going to be for you, your spouse, your kids, your brother, whoever you're taking, or if you're just going by yourself, it's still not free. And it's a time commitment. Like I want to go, and like I don't personally, I feel like there's so many previews and trailers online, and if you're just watching regular TV, you're going to see the trailers for whatever movies. So I really think if you're going to the movies, there shouldn't be any previews anymore, because the previews are like, I drive to work and there's like 13 billboards that I see on my way to work, and it's like every new show and movie. So I actually think if they cut out the previews, which they'll never do because that's like advertising like future stuff for them, I really think they should cut out the previews and then
start the previews earlier.
Go and you just enjoy the movie. You get to the movie and you enjoy the movie.
I don't mind preview. I love trailers. I love seeing trailers that you don't really see anywhere else. I think that's the key too.
That's
like the trailer hype that you can get. But it's also like there was so much more than trailers in that preview. There was like all these other things that were in there. That takes forever and ever and ever to go through it. It was like, oh, let's show this Pepsi commercial. Oh, now we need to show a Sierra, or what was it now? Not Sierra Mist. It's what's the new name? They got rid of Sierra Mist, but whatever the new name of the soda is, they have, and then they have another, a commercial about popcorn. But then they have some commercial about something else. And then they show a trailer, and then another little trailer, and then something else.
Riley, if I have to see that Nicole Kidman trailer again, where she's walking through and she's like, it's an experience, or whatever she says, like, we've come to love, we come to laugh. I'm like, dude, just, I'm here already. I'm already in my seat. Like, I'm already here. Like, why are you advertising the movie theater? I am here. I am in your theater. Like,
you know who's never seen that? Me, because I'm not in the movie theater.
Well, you're missing that.
I'm missing out. I feel like I'm going to have to find a movie to go see.
Joanna just texted me. I'm going to call her out right here. So she said I need to shut my face and that she loves previews. Joanna's part of the problem because I have
trailers are different than like all the other stuff. I love a good trailer.
Look, I mean, good trailer. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to show like 1 or 2 good trailers, but all this other fluff, like, you need to get rid of it, because there's been a lot of movies where I will tell Joanna, like Spider-Verse. I remember she was really upset over Black Panther because Black Panther ended up being a almost 4-hour experience between like going to the theater, finding our seats, getting tickets and all that stuff, sitting down, previews. And then it was already a 3-hour movie. It was a 3-hour Marvel movie in itself. So every time I tell Joanna, like, hey, I think I want to see this movie, she's like, how long is it? And if it's longer than 2 hours, she is 9 times out of 10 not interested in going. You know?
Then also, like, you have to get up to use the bathroom in a 4-hour movie time, then you're gonna what are you missing? Like, what are you not seeing? What are you not checking out? And then you're done with, by the time the trailers are done and these previews are done, your popcorn is empty. Like, you're already like your popcorn's gone. Like, you're like, I'm hanging out.
And anyway, I definitely agree that movie theaters definitely have not found their footing post-COVID. They're definitely going to need to do something to get people back in the theaters. I think that maybe we need to get away from being able to stream everything so quickly. I think that streaming does serve a purpose because there's a lot of theaters a lot of people who can't go to the movie theaters, post-pandemic for XYZ reasons. So I think there should still be opportunities for people who can't go to the theaters to be able to see the newest stuff. But what movie? There was a movie recently, like it just came out, and then it was maybe it was the Marvels. Like something was streaming like 3 weeks after it was in the theaters. Like if you're doing that, then why would anybody go see it in the theater?
You know what the problem is though at this point? They're making so much money on the streaming services. They're never going to put that genie back in the bottle. Like at this point, if they can't bring the movie straight to the stream, like who's going to ever keep Disney Plus? Like you said, Jeff, if you had to do it for Echo, or if you wanted to see the Marvels and there's got to be a reason that people want to keep subscribing and they got to keep putting this content out. And the faster they get it in there, the faster that, somebody's going to want to sign up to go watch it because they don't want to go to the movies. So I think that is going to be the problem. They're kind of, what's the saying? You're cutting off your nose to spite your face or something like that. I think they're kind of doing that at this point because they're taking money out of the theaters.
Yeah, but to prove
on streaming,
to kind of prove your point wrong, like we canceled Disney Plus, so they lost us on both fronts. Now we're not going to the movies very regularly, and they lost us on Disney Plus. I was going to get Disney Plus for one day, pay the $2.99 or whatever it was, just so we could watch Echo, bang it out, and then I was going to cancel it again. Like,
do you have Hulu Plus?
Yes,
like Hulu without. It's only like it's a little bit more. That's so interesting now if you look at it. It's literally like only a few dollars more a month to get Disney Plus with Hulu. If you already pay for Hulu, it's like they're pretty much saying, hey, add this on definitely for like we want everyone to get it. And I think that's smart. Some of them, finally, figuring those kind of things out, like putting Echo on Hulu might get people to go over and say, oh, I want to check out some of the other stuff on Disney Plus. I'll add it for whatever, $3 more a month or $4 more a month or whatever it is now for Hulu. Add Disney Plus on. A lot of people are going to start doing stuff like that. And I think that's the way to do it because Disney and Marvel are going to always crank out these things, I think, pretty fast. Yeah, like they're like Disney, Marvel. All these are going to show them in the movie theater, make their money, or don't make their money, and then get them on streaming so they can at least have something to get maybe people on there for, all those things. It's hard because streaming is becoming like everyone's raising their prices. We just saw Amazon Prime say, hey, you don't want commercials, you got to pay $2.99 more beyond your thing, and I'm like, I'm not going to pay $2.99 more because I don't watch it enough. Like I'll watch a couple things on it, but that's not our main channel. I think Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus here and there when things come out, and then Max. We actually watch a lot of stuff on Max because they have a lot of other things like Discovery Channel and things like that they've bought, and that's on there.
So this is a great segue. Brandon says, only thing that's going to get me back to the movie theater is Star Wars. So there was a lot of Star Wars announcements this week, but there's also a lot of misinformation going around. So I do follow a lot of Star Wars pages. I try to keep in the know because it's one of the things I love most. So Star Wars is trying to do a double-pronged approach. they're going to be bringing a movie into the theaters called The Mandalorian and Grogu. It's probably a tentative name at the moment, but they're still making Mandalorian season 4. And I see a lot of people saying that, they're making this Mando movie. There isn't going to be a Mandalorian season 4. It has been confirmed that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni and Disney are still in the process of filming Mandalorian season 4 that's supposed to apparently come out next year. So I think this movie is actually going to be in addition to what's going on. This movie also, interestingly enough, is apparently not focused on what's going on with Thrawn and the heir to the Empire. Apparently there's a project that's separate, and there's going to be an heir to the Empire movie as well. So you're going to have that. And on top of that, we also found out that there's Ahsoka season 2 that has just got greenlit. So there's a lot of different projects that are in the works. There's also a High Republic movie, which is going to be set. I know some people are probably confused right now. Way in the past, and it's supposed to be about some of the first Jedi characters ever, which will be pretty cool. And then on top of that, there's also the brand new Rey movie that's going to be focused on the new era of Jedi. So
John can't wait.
Fantastic.
I'm very excited for all of this. I'm a little bit weary because it's a lot, and especially when you're throwing in the Bad Batch season 3 and Skeleton Crew.
So you're not going to get Disney Plus for Bad Batch or the Acolyte or the.
Oh, I will get Disney Plus again,
Tales
of course.
of the
For Bad
Republic.
Batch. I will turn it back on for Bad Batch.
Gotcha.
But there's a lot of Star Wars.
Hulu, John, cheaper.
Or we'll just, if we can watch it through Hulu, we'll watch it through Hulu. There's a lot of Star Wars coming out in the next few years. What I do think is going to happen though is they're saying all this Star Wars stuff is supposed to come out in between 2024 and 2026. I would be shocked if that is the game plan, because if you look at years past, we had Rogue One was 2016, and then we had Force Awakens, and then we had Solo, and then we had Last Jedi. Regardless of how you feel about those projects, I really liked how it was one big Star Wars project per year. I think that was a really good way to kind of space it out. So if they start going like the Marvel route, where they're dropping like 3 to 4 or 5 big projects a year, I think that's going to be.
You would
too
think
much.
that they would know that
Disney
by now.
bought them after that. That's Disney.
Right?
Yeah,
No, I know
Disney.
that was pre-Disney too.
Yeah, pre-Disney. Disney's milking it. Disney's cranking it out.
I'm also going to say this. I don't like it. I'm sorry. Koba, you've said it a few times about the woke agenda and Disney's woke and some of these projects are woke. I really don't like that word. I think that I like to leave politics out of pop culture. So I just don't like that phrase. I don't like, because I feel
like
that,
to leave it out too. Unfortunately, they don't. But because I do kind of agree that they have gotten too much into the agenda, and they need to get back to just good storytelling. Because
let's focus on good character development, good stories.
Yes,
don't worry about pleasing everybody.
They don't need to please everyone. Just please the fans that are paying you to put out good content. Is really what they got to get back to. Yeah.
Brandon, I have no idea. That's the thing I see all the time. They're like, "Oh, it's the woke agenda," and I'm like, "What does that mean?" Like, So yeah, I just want them to make good quality stuff. Leave the politics out of it. There's plenty of other people who can focus on that stuff and worrying about all those areas of life. I also maybe hits a little bit close to home for me because I work for the government. So there's a lot of political forces in play with my daily job. So I just kind of bury my head in the sand and just kind of focus on making my job, the best it is and treating everybody the right way. And that's that. So. Dave says, you realize Hulu is going away?
No.
Is that true?
Hulu, no, it merged with Disney Plus. Last week, Disney Plus and Hulu apps finally merged.
And why would they? Yeah, I mean, that seemed like a no-brainer. I mean, they owned Hulu. Disney owned Hulu for a long time now, correct?
I think it will finally maybe merge. Maybe they will.
And why would they
together.
not? That just seems like a good idea, honestly.
I mean, essentially all the content's not going to hasn't been merged yet into it, and I don't know the timing of that. But I think eventually it's 100% owned by Disney now, though.
Yeah.
like Hulu is. So I think eventually they will if Disney wants to have that app. But it's going to be either way. It's going to be the same thing. Like you buy Hulu and you add Disney Plus, it's going to become, hey, now you're Disney Plus. Or the other way, if you have Disney Plus, they're just going to add Hulu into it. So either way, it's going to be Verge. They're still going to add $4 to your bill eventually, or something like that a month. Like I think that's no. Now the cool thing I think about it, we just got a message about this. We have T-Mobile. T-Mobile right now pays for pretty much our Netflix or supplements our Netflix. They did that from the beginning. We just got a message that they're going to do that with Hulu. They're gonna like pay for your Hulu at a certain amount or something like that towards it, like give you a good discount with it. So I think those are like same kind of pluses, but when they go together, it'll be interesting how they keep them, because Hulu and Disney Plus also have some different content stuff in mind. Like Hulu's not always family friendly, like Disney content as well too. So I think they might rely on those parental protection things a little more on Disney. They want to keep like Disney fun and friendly. But I think Echo was one of those ones. They said if you had the parental mode on, you can't watch it because it was mature, I believe, or something like that. It was like one of the few that are.
A little bit.
You know, I mean, think of the Netflix series that went over there. You got Punisher. You got
Punisher
Daredevil,
was something,
Jessica
yeah.
Jones. Yeah, all those.
That's kind of another reason why we're enjoying the Echo series. Like it's pretty gritty. Like it's not, and I think it's what superhero content should kind of be. Like I think it's good to make it a little bit darker because that's more relatable to real life. Like everything doesn't always work out and things aren't all sunshine and roses. And I think that was a problem with a lot of the previous Marvel shows where it's like, I don't know, it just seemed kind of goofy and there was a lot of like forced comedic relief, stuff like that. So
yeah. I think it'll be interesting once they get like I think you're going to see these companies just like cable companies now, these streaming services, kind of like one's going to take over the other one or become part of the other piece. I mean, you already saw it with HBO and Cinemax, HBO Max, and now they're Max. Now they're, you know, will something else prevail and come out? Will Netflix grab any of these other streaming services and eat them up? There's also weird, like smaller streaming services, like what is the Canadian one? Crave, like their streaming service, and that's where that Letterkenny falls and stuff like that. So, have you ever watched that, John? The hockey
I've seen bits and pieces of episodes. Yeah. It's very funny. Yeah,
I watch more Shoresy stuff.
Shoresy, you watch the Shoresy, the newer version from him.
So Riley said, "Who's ready for that Mickey horror movie, Mickey Mouse Trap? Is that real? Is that a real thing?
It will be.
It will be. It will be. Oh, I mean, they did it with Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
So
Steamboat Willie's in the public domain this year.
Interesting.
It was supposed to be 20 years ago, actually.
Steamboat Willie. It's the first iteration of Mickey Mouse, and then what comes out next year? Something else. Some of the other, like really soon. Like a couple of the other characters that are Disney related come out in the next couple.
Wasn't there some weird like Winnie the Pooh horror movie? Or something?
There was.
Yeah.
There was. It came out same idea. I think there's supposed to be games coming out, like, you know, all kind of stuff. But Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. That is what it's called. I have not seen it.
That's what we need.
Sounds like something I would definitely never watch.
Some reason it's not on Disney Plus. Some reason.
Weird. Very weird.
So Elena says, do you think Funko will announce exclusives for C2E2, the new con they announced they will be at this year?
I was thinking the same thing. So. That's a great question. I hope so.
I had to guess. I would say they would have at least one or two. You know, maybe they don't have like a full-fledged catalog, but I would venture to say, because isn't there no Emerald City Comic-Con exclusives this year?
Unless they buy the Crusader again. I think they purchased.
I think they Crusadered. I think they Crusadered out. They did her regular,
maybe Crusadered out.
And Blacklight. So
You never know.
Oh, Lane is going. Yeah, I hope that they have a couple exclusives for you to try to chase. That'd be awesome.
I know. I'm trying to figure out how to get out there that weekend.
When is it? What weekend?
It is. I don't know. I know it's a weekend that Gabby has a
perfect.
dance thing. So I'm trying to figure out how I could get out there. This is only a couple hours for me.
There you go. Funko needs to make a Stanley tumbler pop. Yeah, what is going on? Has anybody seen those in the stores? I saw.
I asked Gabby about it today. I'm like, what is going?
What's the whole? What's the fuss? Like, what's the big deal?
Because she's got one. She's had it for like a long time, and I'm like, so is this worth like $3,000 now? Can I go sell your cup? Like, is that what is that?
I think it's only the pink one, though, right? Only the pink.
She's got a pink one. I was about to sell it this morning on eBay.
I would sell it. Sell it. You can buy 5 of them probably for retail in like a month when they restock.
I go, what's it worth? She's like, I don't know, $40, whatever you paid for it. I'm like, oh, so okay, never mind.
Target, Starbucks.
Pedro, I am so excited for the Captain Enoch pop. It's going to be awesome.
This one? Oh, that was not dramatic. This one?
You got yours already?
Yeah, I got mine. Here, I'm gonna pull my. I'm gonna grab my Enoch out.
Brandon said he saw a video of a guy trying to steal a box of them at Target and getting choke slammed at the door. Oh my God. Isn't it crazy what people will do for... Oh my God. That's insane.
You know, I like the whole line. This whole line of Star Wars pops were good.
They did a good job. They did a good job on this.
Yeah, look at the way they did this. I love this. Look at this thing. You know what's cool about it though? Yeah, you could see it on this camera. Yeah. You see how they have like the weathered look?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how he's supposed to look. That's good.
Like, how well done is that?
Yeah, they nailed it.
Yeah, I'm like,
for a character they'll probably never make another pop of.
Yeah, and man, I hope it doesn't go the way of Captain Phasma though. I hope we find something out about this guy.
Hopefully something cool.
Captain Phasma was the most disappointing character. I thought it had such cool potential. You know what? I don't even want to talk about those stream movies. I get so upset every time I think about it.
I know. I think
so much potential. Oh,
I know. I think Captain Enoch is going to turn on Thrawn, and I think it's not my theory. I watched another guy say that theory, and man, that would be so cool.
He looks like somebody that might do that. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
now that I can look him in the eyes, he looks like he might be up to some no good.
He's up. Yeah,
he's up to no already dead and back to life. That's the question too. Is he already dead and back to life?
Yeah, they did a really good job on that wave. But yes, where is the Phase 1 Clone Trooper? Where's that?
I'm looking forward to that one too. That's a Funko shop.
Yeah,
3-liter Freddy.
Yeah. Oh God! Don't cancel sodas before the 3-liter Freddy. Jeez, come on.
I think they'll have, like I said, they still have several sodas just kind of slowly in the.
What about Tails?
Now
Tails is supposed to come.
Tails is still up on GameStop. So I did a pre-order.
Yeah, we pre-ordered a bunch of them. I hope
it should be actually this month. I think.
Yeah,
you know what though? I also pre-ordered the Jelly Belly guy from GameStop, a year and whatever ago. They did eventually cancel that. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that he does come out.
Tails is a great one. Let's see. Are they still selling them? Did they sell out? Let's find. $14.99.
I'm fine if they cancel 3 liters after we get the Freddy. So
$122, and it's still available for pre-order. So,
yes, Les, I'm very excited. Captain Rex and Ponkrell 2-pack coming out. I'm very excited. Should be getting it very soon.
See, and I did not pre-order any of those though, because I've got burned on the last couple pre-orders that I've made.
I have actually a lot of pre-orders. They'll come in hopefully.
Do you?
I do actually.
You're not playing the long game. You're not. You need to have it in hand. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that.
The Star Wars ones, yeah.
You wanted ASAP. I get that. I totally get that. Especially, Rex is going to be awesome. Maybe I will pre-order that. I was going to wait till it went on sale, but maybe I should get that one.
And actually, I meant to say this earlier. I think Pipsqueak made a comment about the new Ghostbusters movie. I will be seeing that in theaters because Joanna and I saw the previous Ghostbusters movie in theaters and we loved it. And this one looks pretty good too. So we will
We
make
actually
a
just saw the previous one, obviously.
Oh, what do you guys
home.
think?
I really liked it.
Yeah, it was good, right?
I heard a lot of people bag on that, and
You can't
I
listen
actually
to
heard a
people.
lot of people bag on Echo too. And you know what? I don't listen to anybody anymore.
Oh,
I
people
go and
okay.
make my own opinions.
I think there's a portion of people that dog on everything.
Everything.
No matter what comes out, they're just like, it's trash, 1 star, waste of time, don't watch it. And it's because those people, like, they must have nothing else better to do except to sit at home. Yeah, don't listen to the masses. Like, watch something if you want to watch something and make your own opinion. Like, if you like it, great. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But I'm just saying, I haven't liked most of the Marvel projects that have come out, and we really are enjoying Echo. So hopefully the second half of the series is as good as the first half.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And Ghostbusters, I mean, I think they're doing a great job. I think there's few franchises that can successfully merge the previous generation with a new generation. I think that there's kind of like different opinions, and I think it's like every generation, right? Like we all have different things we like. We all see the world differently. And I think they just did a really good job with Ghostbusters by bringing the nostalgia of the original team and then bringing in this new wave of characters who I think are equally as enjoyable to watch and characters that I want to invest more time in. So. Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. So I got a lot of messages. First time I think I've ever gotten as many messages today from people saying they disagreed with something I said in my video today. And
I disagree with John all the time. I mean,
no,
Riley, really, is this the first time?
So I was expecting people to disagree with me on something. I thought people were going to come after me with a pitchfork over what I said about the AP sodas, but I did not expect this much pushback over the payment plans. And I think that unfortunately it needed to be said because I go on Whatnot, I watch other content creators, I go on Macari, I go on eBay, I shop on all these different platforms. And what is the number one thing right now that is plaguing our country? Credit card debt. And I think that when we are in a community where we're buying, collectibles and items that we're passionate about, characters that we love from pop culture, at the end of the day, we're not buying necessities. Like everything behind me is not a necessity to live life. So I don't want to see people fall into bad situations. And the reason I said it is because there is one of our patrons who I'm not going to reveal, but I think we helped him get out of the bad situation as much as possible. He got burned on the payment plan. He thought he had paid off the item. He didn't. And he got hit with a massive late fee as well as like insane interest. And it was a $2,200 pop. And he didn't know. He didn't know the fine print. He thought he paid it off, and whatever payments he had, it didn't go through on his credit card and everything. So I think the payment plans are a horrible, horrible system. And I think they are tricking people into thinking that you can afford something that you can't afford. When bottom line, if you don't have $1,000 to shell out for a pop up front, then I don't think you should be paying, or I don't think you should be buying that pop until you have that $1,000 saved up. I really don't think the payment plans, because
disagree.
They're designed to, these companies are preying on you. They're thriving.
Jen, they are if you're not responsible. Because you could say that with credit card companies. I mean, they're preying on people. They're expecting people to be irresponsible.
But there's people, so it's a two-pronged approach. These companies are pairing up with auction platforms like eBay and whatnot, and other marketplaces like Macari, blah, blah, blah. They're preying on people missing those payments and not being responsible. My issue, well, I have issue with that too, because when you're talking about astronomical interests and all this stuff, like you wouldn't have to worry about that if you just pay for the item up front. The second thing that has been really pissing me off, and it's being done by people that I know, and I know why they're doing it, but it's not right. It's morally not right. People are lying to people in this community. They are saying whatever they need to say to get you to make that purchase with money you don't have. You might have it in the future, but you don't have it now. And they will say anything they have to do to get you to pull the trigger. And that is misleading. That is morally wrong. And that's not good business practice. And I've been furious for a long time.
Yeah, that I 100% agree with. The reason I'm saying this, I use what's the shop pay thing? Shop pay.
After pay, right? Or not pay after.
Like
pay.
I'll use that. I mean, I'll use that like in a way that if a couple boxes are, why tie up all my money at interest free? But that's different because there is no interest rate.
Free is different. If there's
it's interest free, so it is a different kind of situation. Honestly, no, I've never used the other thing.
The bigger plan. I mean, that's the one. Like, I think if you only do like the $50, it's like 4 payments over whatever, and that's it. But if you do, say, if you bought, like you said, John, a $2,000 item, let's say you could do $50. You could do 4 payments, but it's going to be like $500 every 2 weeks. Or you can do the 6 month, or you can do this year plan, or this, whatever, and then it has the interest in there. Now, I would say, like you said, Vince, if you just want to buy something and pay over a couple, especially something that might not be here soon, the kind of the idea of hot toy payments too. John, like that, when you bought stuff, if it's not going to be here for a while, do you want to pay everything up front for it if it's going to take a couple weeks to get here or something like that, or months and months to get here? Do you want to pay it all up front, or hey, I could pay it over the next 4 paychecks or whatever like that, and have it a little bit at a time? So there's kind of that two sides if it's the interest free.
Because fundamentally, I agree with John. I don't carry a credit card balance from one month to the next. I never have. I was always taught this the same way, especially like I think to your point, John. Like if it's for food or rent or something like that, like you got to do what you got to do, and if you got to pay interest to get by from month to month, listen, you got to do what you got to do. For luxury items, because that's what these are. I like to think sometimes that my life might depend on it, but I don't think that's the case. So, those are the things that, you don't want to put yourself in a situation that I'd never want to put myself in a situation that I'm paying interest on a collectible, because it's just bad business sense. You know what I mean? You don't want to be paying interest on something that's not going to go up in the same ratio.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's big picture for me because, there might be a bunch of you guys out there who are financially responsible. You pay your bills, you have savings, and you're in a good place, right? You're collecting, you're having fun. And then you get talked into doing one of these payment plans. But guess what? Life always happens. And sometimes life happens when you're least expecting it. Like when my Jeep went down a few months ago and it was a $5,000 repair. That was something that we were not expecting, but we had our emergency fund, thankfully, and we were able to absorb that. Now, some people, you might encounter something that's worse than $5,000. Like you never know what's going to happen. So don't put yourself in a bind for weeks or months at a time, because something then could pop up. And now you have to choose like, okay, am I going to be late on this payment for this pop? Or, so I can pay for my car or pay for the, your basement flooded and you got to pay to have it cleaned up, or, who knows what could happen. And Riley, no, I don't, you are like, no, no animosity to anybody who feels
Riley. It changes the way I feel about you. I like you more.
I was just shocked.
I just gained more respect for you that you disagreed with John. Thank you.
I just want people to be in this hobby, whether they choose to or not to, for as long as they want. I want you to collect and be in a financially good.
You don't want to be forced out of the hobby.
Right. Because here's what's going to happen. If you get burned, like one of our patrons did, who was about 10 seconds away from just getting rid of all of his Funko Pops and saying, I'm done. I never want to talk about Funko ever again, because he got burned. And if you get burned by something that's not a necessity, you're probably going to cut it out for the rest of your life. And then it's always going to be a sore spot. So I'm just trying to put this information out there, because even though these companies might be offering you a service that, you know, is of convenience, they're not disclosing all the information up front. And then you have sellers who are on these platforms attached to the service, and they are definitely not providing all the details up front, and they are lying. They're straight up lying because they just want to make the sale. That's it. So,
I didn't even know there was such a thing. You know that? I didn't even know you could do this.
It's relatively new. I'd say it kind of popped up everywhere like 6 months ago. So
I think it started being integrated to more and more platforms.
Yeah.
So
what's it called?
I think
it's not a firm, is it?
Well, okay, so it's different. So Whatnot, it's called they use Klarna.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah,
and then Macari uses Zip, and then
yeah.
So they're all different companies, but they all essentially do the same thing. So
okay.
Now I think like Macari has been using it for a while, like a long time. I feel like they've been using stuff for a while. I think I feel it's weird. It doesn't work the auction, right? It's buy it now only or like Whatnot. Like if you
I think so. Yeah, I think it's buy it now.
Like you can't use it for auction and like bid something.
I was also wrong. I will say this. I think the first couple messages I got were people correcting me. I was wrong in the video. I said that you had to pay off all the payments and then you got the item. You get the item before you make all the payments, which I actually think is worse. I think you should actually have to make all the payments and then get the item, because if you get the item and then it's basically layaway, which layaway is nothing new. They've been doing this for years, but Affirm, that's the other one. Affirm is the shop pay one. So
I mean, there's a bunch out there, and the idea is, of course, they want to no interest. So if you do pay it and have no interest, it's kind of like, I think for a long time, a great example is when like Best Buy had a credit card, have a credit card, and they say, buy $1,000 TV, no interest for 12 months.
Yeah.
So as long as you pay off that interest, pay off that TV in 12 months, you get no interest. Now, if you don't pay it off, you get hit with all the interest that you didn't pay on those. So those are the kind of things that like are tricky. But also these payment things, you're like, oh, it's $20 here. But if you buy $20 more, it's like $20 for four, or $50, say it's $200 worth of stuff for 4 weeks. Well, if you forgot you made like 8 of those, and then
they can stack up nice and quick.
And that's the thing. And I think that we are in a community that's very easy to, most people are buying with their eyes. They see something, they want it, they buy it. And I think that there's just not enough responsibility being talked about. And someone like you, Vince, you're not carrying a credit card balance from month to month, and that's something that you've been taught from a young age. That's awesome. But I don't think that financial literacy is being widespread.
No, and on top of that, it's hard to do.
It is.
It's hard to do. It especially in today's world. It's hard to be responsible. You know what I mean? It makes it pretty difficult. But yeah, no, I mean, I fundamentally agree with what you're saying. I think it can be used. It's got to be used responsibly, just like anything. It's a tool that can be used if it's used responsibly.
Yeah, and it wasn't something that I really was going to address, but then when somebody in our community got burned, that's when I was like, all right, we're gonna bring this up.
Aware, yeah.
We don't want other people to get burned. That's all. So if you can be responsible, if you know yourself and you're like, hey, I'm going to make the payments and everything is good, I really want this item in my collection. I still think bottom line at the end of the day, if you don't have the money for it, it's not the right time.
I wouldn't do it either. I mean, I've never bought anything. I've never bought a pop, and not that we buy crazy expensive stuff, but even a couple $100 one. I'll do the same thing. I'll save up before I would do that.
Yeah.
Mystery boxes I do use the shop pay just because it's interest free, and I budget that in the monthly thing, and why pay it all at once?
No, exactly. And Fat Boy, I appreciate that. I will say I did get some nice comments and messages today too, but I was just really taken back. I was like, man, this is what people are coming at me for. Only one person was upset that I said don't buy AP sodas, but I thought more people were going to be upset over that.
You said don't buy AP sodas. Now you got 2 people upset with you.
Yes, I don't think anybody.
Actually, I agree with that too, John.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that's a whole other beast. Yeah, I don't think anybody should buy them. I also think, once again, there's a lot of misinformation being put out. Yeah. So I don't think anybody should buy them. I think there's just way too many on the market for the lack of information that Funko has given out. Now, I will say this. Somebody actually messaged me and they said that they won an AP soda chase through a photo of when Funko used to do the photo of the day.
Or it might have done like Soda Saturday photo.
Yeah, something like that. So they won the photo of the day contest and they were sent an AP soda chase. So for that, like, that's great. Like, you got it directly from Funko. That is the first instance I've ever heard of anyone getting it directly from Funko. So that's great.
No, I've heard others. Like, some of the people that they had them at some of the other events. Remember when they did the raffle thing for charity at HQ for stuff?
Yeah.
Some of the prizes were AP sodas.
Oh, they were? I thought they were only protos.
They had protos, but they had some AP sodas too and things. Because I remember a couple people had them and walked away with it, like showed them and got them that I knew. So that, I mean, Funko gives them out for sure to people as prizes too. I've seen them as prizes through the social media stuff and that, but there are also a lot out there that it's really sketchy how people get them. So, and I've heard how people kind of said they got them. They got them from a guy that works for a company that licensed through Funko. That they got them through their storage unit. You know,
or like there was that one
meet up.
That one couple who like said their brother or something worked for Marvel and they had like 500 Marvel AP soda chases. Like, it was like, come on, like, no way. Like, I'm not buying it. Like, I'm not buying it. So I think if someone's selling them for like 15, 20 bucks or something, you want to buy them, but that's not the case. People are selling them for hundreds of dollars. And it's like, I'm not buying something that much that I can't verify its authenticity or if it's legit or not. I mean,
it's the same thing with protos though for me too. Like, I'm not going to spend hundreds of dollars on a proto either, just because that's not. I guess there's always maybe some particular collectors that collect different things, but
I think people that collect those though, they're finding out what the lineage is. You know what I'm saying? Like, people that collect protos that's a different animal. I don't think any of us, like us three, are not proto people, but I get why people. Like, I think that they will find out where this came from, what the lineage is. I think that the AP stuff is a little too wishy-washy on what I hear. And no, I mean, they don't. I have a AP. It doesn't look. It looks zero different to me. I've held it up to multiple different sodas. I have an AP Winter Soldier, and I'm telling you, it doesn't look any different. It was a gift though, and I'll cherish it forever. But and I love it, but like, would I actively seek one out? No, I 100% want it, just because, you know, I don't know enough about it. I'm not into paying premiums for stuff I don't know anything about. Proto collectors, I think, are different because they'll go through the hassle of finding out what that lineage is.
And I know there's some really good proto groups and stuff where they all help each other, like, identify the lineage and everything.
Right.
I wish there was more information from Funko. It's like, if these AP sodas are legit, you know, do they say like, hey, every soda we make, there's 36 APs. They're given.
You know what it is, though? Even if they are legit, it's just a different pog. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
For me, if they're I'm saying this for me. I don't want to offend anybody that's an AP soda collector, because God bless. I'm saying for me, like, I've had them in my hand before. They look no different. I could care less if the pog is different. The can's the exact same. So it's just that's not exciting for me. If somebody else wants a bunch of AP pods and stuff like that, I think that's fine.
I'd be more impressed if like the AP sodas, like on the bottom, like, or on them somewhere, like it was like the number
Right.
like the number of it, like 1 out of 12, and then it was like, and then it was signed by the artist that created that.
Yeah, like if I would want to see like brush strokes of the paint that they're putting. You know what I mean? Like I was hoping that listen, I'm not that I'm a trained professional of what the difference would be. They look zero different other than the Pog saying AP. So they just don't excite me. So that's why I don't collect them.
So Kelsey brings up a great point. They said grading services would make a lot if they station themselves at events and encapsulated protos as they're given out. Otherwise, lineage by word of mouth is caca. I've never been a fan of word of mouth lineage. I don't know. I've bought some very high-end pops where people showed me pictures of like, hey, I bought it from this person who got it, from Fun Days 2015. It was like, okay, that's legit. Like photo proof is more legit to me than word of mouth. But yeah, I hear these crazy stories about how people are like, oh, I got it from this person who got it from this person whose brother's ex-wife worked for Funko for 10 minutes. And yeah, it's a lot.
I think, it's just very hard, especially now with how good and easily accessible 3D printers and things are too.
Yeah.
Like, hey, one that's older and it was like done for a while, but now like the amount of things that you can scan and do with 3D printer, a scanner and a 3D printer and getting things going, that kind of makes it iffy as is, especially for different ones. Now there is a different look and feel of a lot of those like protos. You can kind of tell, like, if it's built like Funko, probably someone's not taking all that time to make a proto, with how it looks like a actual pop and everything, all the pieces are right and all those kind of things. I've seen, I don't know, it's just kind of, it's a niche market. It is a niche market. Most people that have them that aren't true collectors of proto probably were given it somehow. It was given away, it was done, something like that. So I think that's the big thing right now is really the people that go after like all 5 of the protos from that line. Like I want every proto that was a soda of this soda. I want the APs and the protos of this soda, or AP and protos of this pop, of this small, and it's usually a really small line. Like they literally have like, this is what I collect because they cost a lot and they're harder to find and go after and things like that. So if that's your thing, that's your thing. And I say, that's what you love to collect and go after and do. I just think also those are going to be, they're still tough to sell afterwards because like they are like a very niche crowd, and good for like companies that can do stuff like that for people that love them. Smai has a great connection, I'm guessing, with some of these proto groups and things like that are doing stuff, and they're selling them. They're selling out several of them all the time.
Let's talk about Smai World for a minute. My goodness, have a fantastic night. Now, I would be curious to know what the hookup is for Smai World, because he drops a lot of protos,
some
every
crazy
single
ones too.
Sunday. So like, where is he getting those? Smai World is a legit company, great company. We've bought from them for several years, but it's a lot. Like I would understand like 1 or 2, like that would kind of make sense. Like, is he purposely going out and buying proto collections?
He probably is. The people that get them too, John, get the protos are people that most likely work for Funko.
Yeah,
and they get the protos and they end up selling them on whatever market. They can't, and they're the ones that probably can't sell them on a platform because they might get in trouble for it if it's on a open platform themselves. But if eventually it gets down to giveaway done, those kind of things. Plus, I think from what I've seen, they're very involved with the proto groups, those groups and connections. So he has some kind of connection. Maybe he sells them and he gets a small percentage of them too. Maybe they're more of a consignment thing too. Like he has an audience and he has a platform to do it. Maybe it's a consignment kind of thing. I don't know. Like it could be all those kind of things. He's also been around those communities for a while, so you got the right connections. It's just like some of the others. Like what's the company that dropped the $3,000? Was it Fugitive that did the
Yeah, it was Fugitive
$3,000
for
box?
sure. They do.
Yeah.
They'll
But
do
look
full
at
proto
those.
shows.
How do they get all these like they're literally like fresh out of the box pops from 8 years ago or something like that are $1,000.
Look what Ralphie's opened. Did you see the box of the Sully and
little
Mike
and Sully.
Wazowski 2-packs?
Yeah, those are cute. Yeah,
I'm telling you, you know, there are cases of stuff like that, and I like what you said with Fugitive. I seen the Luau. Andrew opened one of their $3,000 boxes, and I said it on his video the same way.
He did.
I will get. Oh yeah, and I guarantee you, some of the stuff that he opened came straight out of a case, like straight out of a fresh case.
I think Franchise Kicked opened the same box. They got pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, and you don't just have like $1,000 pops sitting around, like unless you have cases of them, and like they had their, you know, that's what I've always like. Toy Tokyo, Fugitive, Gemini. You know, when you have your own exclusive, why not hold back 1,000 or 1,500 for this rainy day? You know, down the road.
Of course.
Like they've got cases of some of their exclusives. Like I got a, I think it was the Nightwing, which was a Fugitive exclusive that they just put. Like I got it for a $30 box or something like that. On one of their whatnot things, and like they just have cases of this stuff. It's crazy to see how some of those like OG places, the connections that they've built through the years, and you know, good for them. I don't, you know, I don't begrudge that at all. I mean, I think that that's great. They, you know, they stuck with it when Funko was just starting out.
Put it away.
Yeah, and you know, it was smart on them. I think it's great for Smy and Fugitive and Ralphie's and all these places that got into this way early. They got cases of that kind of stuff, and they can take advantage of that now. That's fantastic. Great for them.
And it might, some of these also might be their distributors, because distributors might keep cases of stuff away, and then like, oh, they have a case of these 6 pops. Well, they're not going to be able to sell those 6 pops for full price to anywhere. But hey, I'll sell them to you for this price, and you can make your mystery box run out of it or something like that. And you know, a lot of them have to have some of those kind of things going on, because there's no way you're going to have that many of Wizard of Oz pops or that many of these some of the stuff we saw from Fugitive.
Yeah, like 2015 Greedos, black box Greedos. I mean, you know, pretty sure I got 4 or 5 of those last year.
Yeah.
So Holly says, which of the leaks are you guys most excited for this year? I'm excited for the new Echo Pops coming out tomorrow. I'm excited because it's only 2, so not like a huge wave.
That's the right amount.
Yeah.
You know, for a TV show, that's the right amount.
I really like the new Kingpin Pop, especially because it's different enough to where I kind of want it for the collection. And it also says Kingpin, where the original one from the Netflix wave said Wilson Fisk. So I think they did a great job on that. And the Echo is cool. It actually says Echo, right? Yeah, it says Echo. So I have the Maya Lopez pop from Hawkeye, so I'll probably get rid of that one and get the one that actually says Echo. So
how about the list? Did you see the list that came out? Like
no, I did not.
The expected list or several things here.
Was that just a list with like the logo of like every major franchise?
And no, it's a list of a bunch of things. Let me put it on here.
I saw somebody put out a list, and it was like upcoming pops, and it was like a picture of like My Hero and Spider-Man and Batman and Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I did see that one.
I mean, there are several of the normal stuff on here.
It was just kind of like, well, if Funko doesn't make all those properties this year, I'd be shocked. Yeah, it was kind of like
this big list. There's things in here. We Are Groot, Parks and Rec 15.
But how is this? I mean, no offense, but how is this a leak? Like,
I mean, this is a list of potential leaks. I mean, there are some things in here that have some interesting, like, what is DC patchwork? Like, is it going to be like DC pops with weird patch things all over them? Like, I mean, there's other things that are kind of normal, like you said, but this might be a who knows coming up list. We could expect this year Dazed and Confused, more RoboCop, Twilight Zone, which I did hear a rumor about before. So I could see
did too,
Twilight
yeah.
Zone happening. Toxic Avengers coming out with a new movie, so I could see more Toxic Avenger coming. Star Wars: The Mandalorian, of course. Pet
Ghostface.
Cemetery. Yeah, Ghostface. Which
there's a whole line of Stranger Things
Summer.
It's just a little bit too vague for me. Like that's all. Like
this is kind of the vagueness of like probably what's out there. I mean, Simpsons Advent Calendar. I would love to have that for next Christmas. Simpsons Advent Calendar. Saved by the Bell 30th anniversary, I'm guessing, is coming out maybe.
Mr. Belton, finally?
Man, 30 years. Saved by the Bell anniversary. So
wow.
Yeah. John Bon Jovi. I mean, there's a lot of things on these. So if you haven't checked out the list, I don't know if like you said, these aren't like these are just a list of stuff. I think we'll get some of this at Toy Fair stuff, like when these things start doing Fievel. Yeah, Fievel.
Fievel will be great. Love that movie when I was a kid.
A lot of people will be going after. So I think we'll see a lot of these kind of pieces and parts with some of these. So you're gonna what else was there? I thought there was another Stranger Things Scoops Ahoy. So will that be like a moment or something with them? Because they already did Scoops Ahoy Pop. So
yeah, and I've seen a couple lists with Stranger Things, more detailed, like actual characters and that kind of thing as well.
Yeah. So we're going to see, I think, a lot of different pieces, but a lot of these, some are new, which is kind of nice to see.
Yeah.
Nice to see some of the new stuff on here. Some of the stuff that we've seen before, which is kind of weird. I wonder how that'll, like, are we just going to see the same thing over and over again? Let's see. Where was the pop, John?
I hope they do something cool for the 85th anniversary of Batman.
This was a cool leak, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Joanna ran downstairs when she saw this. She's like, we have to get this.
So the Pokemon Center is pretty cool. I love it. It has the, the basics right there. We got all the Squirtle, Charmander, and Bulbasaur. So this is cute. This is another big deluxe. This is going to be a big one. It's going to be like those, going to have some size to it.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's a big one.
I think that one is good. And then I just saw the one John was talking about. You're there.
Is everything okay?
Echo and Kingpin. Look at Kingpin. Man, poor guy. His eye.
What happened to his eye? I'm just kidding. I know what happened.
It was a chopstick accident, I hear. Something like that. But yeah, that's some good stuff coming out. I think some good things going on.
Yeah, not a crazy amount. Like we got a little bit of leaks. You've seen a couple of the pops. You saw the 2 sodas the other day. Not like
got the sodas. Here we go.
The Splinter Chase.
Here's
Don't like any of these.
The only one that actually looks good is Lady from Lady and the Tramp. Like
because it looks the most like a soda. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. The rest the He-Man looks awful.
No, like people said that
have that in his collection for sure.
No, people said that like when they start doing Masters of the Universe, you'll change your mind and no,
that looks terrible.
What's up with what's the Lady? Is really the only difference her collar?
Yes, sir.
Like the Forrest Gump, I'll give them credit. Like if that Forrest Gump was a soda, that would kill. Like that completely different mold. It was a great scene from the movie. Like that is amazing.
It looks terrible. These look awful.
But these. God.
I don't know. Bugs looks all right.
Yeah, Bugs looks all right.
All right. But the rest look. I think anything people wise looks awful. Like if you start getting into,
they don't translate well. I mean,
they they look terrible.
Yeah, they just don't translate well.
But they just don't. You know, the thing is though, they don't scream collectible to me.
They
No.
scream very bad looking, like a little figure. I don't know. They just don't look good. But I will say, like you said, the Splinter Chase soda looks pretty awesome.
Oh my god, Pipsqueak. If they did Wizard of Oz sodas, like that original Wizard of Oz pop line is like they're all expensive. So if they did
have
a Wizard
so
of Oz
many
soda
sodas
line,
they could have.
Oh yeah.
Don't pause. Like, come on. Let's keep the sodas going. Like,
I mean,
look at the Splinter.
Splinter looks great.
Splinter is
I mean-
awesome with that little baby Mikey, like super cute.
See, I didn't buy any of these. I didn't buy any of these. I didn't
Dude,
buy any of
They're
the
$18.
turtles either.
They want $18 for these.
Oh my god, a Wizard of Oz cooler, that would be insane.
Yeah.
Damn, now I want it.
That would be awesome. Yeah, that would be amazing.
That would be so appropriate too, because I don't think the like the coolers, like if they did like some non-mainstream stuff, like Wizard of Oz is a great example. Like that's what you make a cooler for. You give somebody the opportunity to get all 6 characters or the 6 main characters in one shot. They get a cool little bag. They get a chance at a chase. I mean, that's perfect. You know, some of these established lines like Marvel and, you know, there's so many characters, you might as well not do it. It kind of worked for X-Men because it's like a sub theme of Marvel, but no, I disagree 100%. These are not sodas. These are completely different from sodas. Like I have a couple rewinds and just like holding them, like they're so light and flimsy compared to like, I like how sodas like have weight. They have great.
Well, they lack all the detail. You know, like look at that Splinter right now. Look at that chase with that little baby Michelangelo. You could never do that with the rewind ever.
And it actually looks like the character, like you said, Vince. The characters just don't translate.
No, they just don't translate.
Playmobil format. Like I don't know
how skinny they are. I think that's part of the reason.
Must be super cheap to put out. Like if they're sitting around their table and they're going, "Hey, we're not really doing sodas, or we're going to take a break from sodas, but we're going to pump out these rewind figures." They must be they look cheap. Like they feel cheap, they look cheap, and that's another reason why I don't want to collect it. Like I want my collection to be quality. Like I loved the way Funko Pops looked when I first saw them because they just look like a quality collectible. They have great display presence. Same thing with
I think that's what it is right there, collectible. Like I think that they're like we have a couple, but I have a couple Popsies too. Do you know what I mean? And I have a couple pop pins, but they'll never look like this in the back. You know what I mean? Like you can grab a couple of them and you know they're fine. Like I don't hate them. I really don't. But I don't think they translate well enough where I would get more than just, you know, a couple.
You know what? I think they also remind all of us of like Playmobil characters too much, like how they do the heads and everything. Like,
yeah, I mean, 100%.
I will say this was one of the ones the only one I've ever bought 2 of, I think, and it was one that I actually got the chase on it too, and it was the one that I thought looked the most like the character. And actually, I thought it looked maybe even a little better than the soda for that one.
Yeah, I think that does. I didn't like the. I didn't like
that soda. They should have made the Stay Puft a 3 liter. Like it came out long before the concept of 3 liters, but that would have been a perfect 3 liter. Brian says, "Oh, where did it go? I want a Friends cooler. Oh my god, that would be amazing. You have the 6 main characters. Like, yeah, that would be perfect. Like, that's it. Like, just drop that cooler, give all of them cool chases. You could give them all the same chases as like their pops. You know, some of the pops have chases in their Halloween outfits and stuff. That would be amazing. So this I was not surprised about. Some people,
I don't think anyone was.
Well, some people said they were surprised, but I was.
No, who was surprised? There was nobody surprised. I do not believe that for a second. Yeah. Who would be surprised that these did not? You know, honestly, and I've seen somebody, and I've said this many a times on our lives here. really, at the end of the day, it doesn't look good when they don't sell out, but also what do they care? Like, other than the perception of them not doing well, basically the market is creating what these pieces will be. Like when they burn 60%, that grail goes from $9.99. The grail is going to be closer to like a 500 piece grail. Like
if they all get open,
if they all get open and if
Yeah.
they all get redeemed. So you could be talking like a 450 piece. What I mean, the only thing that sucks is that they don't change the numbers on the boxes, because when these come out, even if it's a 450 piece anything, I think there's value to that. So and this, it was a super weak IP. I mean, yeah, this one, but really the redeemables I thought were pretty good from this set.
I was actually shocked that they sold as many packs as they did. So
yeah, I don't disagree with you.
Hey, Brian, have a great night.
Last time I checked, I looked at the prices not recently, maybe the day after or later that day. I just wanted to see if packs were selling at retail, and they still were kind of like just at retail or a little above.
Yeah, I bought one pack on the aftermarket. I didn't even buy one on the drop.
Like I'm just out. It's really weird to see how these played out, and I think this, they need to figure out what they're doing with these. But like at the end of the day, does it really hurt them? I don't know. They actually produced that many pops, then it did hurt them because they have to get rid of like several things that they produced.
I doubt that they do, Josh. I mean, it takes almost a year to
get them out.
It takes almost a year to get these things anyway. So I mean, really, maybe they're not ordering them until the point that, like, once they have this, they already know pretty much the most that's going to be at open.
Yeah.
So even if they order 700 of them, do you know what I'm saying? I don't think that hurts them when they don't sell out, other than the perception that NFTs are dying is whatever, that's kind of the narrative that everybody says. And I'm not saying that they're not, I'm not saying that they are. I think it goes back to IP license. I mean, when you're talking Squid Game, that even if they brought these out a year ago, I thought a year ago they probably would have been too late. And I still don't think they would have sold out, then.
If they brought them out in the height of Squid Games when it was going on and brought and on Netflix, like the hype of it, maybe. Because they're right now, maybe. But even then, NFTs is such a niche, and people now are like, well, this is not my niche I want to go after.
When you also, you're talking 43,000 packs?
No,
that's like, they didn't have, I don't think there was that many Turtles packs. I don't remember. I'm kind of just throwing that out.
Did you buy a premium pack, Vince? With 17 cards now? Did you buy one of the new packs?
No, I bought a standard pack. No, I didn't even want to invest $35 into it. I bought
you could have bought a redeemable probably for
I bought a standard pack for $10.50, and I actually pulled a redeemable out of it.
Oh, there.
So I opened 5 cards. I screen record every pack that I open. I screen record. Not that I'm going to ever probably do anything with any of these stupid screen recordings, but I might get the Mass Worker. I thought that they did a really amazing job on that pop. It's metallic, it's bloody, it's shaded in a cool way. I mean, the box or the glam art or whatever, the glam of it, I thought looked really good. So I may end up picking that one up depending on what it goes for.
So Brian, theoretically, yes, there is going to be Marvel or Star Wars NFTs because they did the Disney NFTs, the Mickey and Friends or whatever that was called. So, yeah, I mean, there's rumors that Star Wars is coming. So,
will they be drop exclusives and drive everybody absolutely nuts?
I don't care what they are. Just make good characters. Make characters that haven't been done, or make characters that there's very few pops of. Make cool molds. Don't make 50,000 packs. Make 20,000 packs and let them all
give us
sell
a metallic Boba Fett.
That would be cool. Yeah,
we don't have any of those, right?
There's one. There's that Walmart one where he's unmasked, but
is it metallic?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think the Freddy on this set is probably going to end up being like 1,000-piece Freddy.
Yeah.
Royalty. I think it's going to be that low, or if not lower, because going after the pack. So it might be a fun Freddy to get if you like. I mean, I think that it looks good as how the Freddy's done.
I'll see how much it goes for. I think that there's a lot of useful tools now. There's a website that'll tell you how much a royalty set will cost, and
what is it again? I forget.
It's Pop in Stock.
Pop in Stock. That's right.
Yep.
Pop in Stock. And then I'm curious, like what it's saying now. That's why. Curious if they show set completions, right?
Yeah,
right?
It will.
Squid Games. Let's see if we get.
Yeah, 5s. Oh God, don't tempt me. Finally giving us a Lego 5s minifig this year, so hopefully that looks cool.
All right. So right now,
Freddy Thrawn would be cool.
This is right now what it would cost you to get a royalty.
Royalty would cost 102.
Yeah.
Right now.
So, man, Bad Batch or Clone Wars NFTs. Oh, that's how you break the internet.
And then you went into Mass Worker, about $50, somewhere around there. 50. And the front man was the Grail, right?
Yes.
237 right now. Going for. Someone has 3 of them. A couple people have 3. That's kind of interesting too. I always like seeing.
I mean, if you look at that, there was 339 pulled so far.
The dude has 8.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's a good idea.
Oh, is Joanna okay? She's still fighting her cough, but she's getting there. She's getting there.
So, yeah. So I mean, what website was this? This is Pop in Stock. So I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, it's actually super useful site. You could you could see how much it's going to cost. If you're looking at if you have half the cards in a set, you can actually see what the cost would be to finish your
if it's worth it to finish it or not.
It actually compares wax versus like Atomic Hub and Drop to see if one's cheaper on one site than the other.
I think these kind of things. It'll be interesting to see how they play out and what ones come next. I think if they drop the like Scooby Doo, another series of Scooby Doo, I think that would do really well. Like it's all about the IPs and what they're doing. So I think you're going to have
the Disney set. We got all the redeemables so far, and I need one card for the first, second royalty. I think that'll be worth it when they come out.
Yeah.
Sometime in 2025.
Thank you, Gerald. I appreciate it. Joanna will be back for a video this weekend, which will be good.
Well, speaking of, do we want to go around and talk about what's coming up?
Yes, of course we do.
Let's do it.
All right. That means you, John. You're first.
So like I just said, we'll have Joanna back for a duel. I think this will technically be our first battle of 2024. So I lost pretty bad in 2023 and I lost pretty bad in 2022. So hopefully 2024 will finally be my year. But I'm pretty excited for Monday night. We are having our big Marvel auction. We've been trying to figure out when to schedule this for a while. So we're doing it Monday night. So if you're looking for some specific Marvel pop or you want to grab a Marvel character for your collection that you don't have yet, come on over. I unfortunately have some bad news, but also good news. I guess the good news is Joanna and I might have found a house that we want to put an offer down on.
It's bad news.
The bad news is I have a pop here that I'm going to let go because we found out there's other people interested in the house, and I don't know how this is going to go down. So we're just trying to rack up a little bit of extra cash, unfortunately. So this is a pop I really did not want to sell. I don't really want to sell any of my pops, but I looked at the value, and yeah, it's hopefully somebody wants this for their collection.
Are you going to tell us what it is, or
Willy Wonka 2-pack? Oh
no, it's the I have.
Yes.
I have the 1,000-piece glow-in-the-dark Chase Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. So I'm really sad. But I looked through my Spider-Man collection, and yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get it back after we move. But if anybody needs this one, he's unfortunately for sale. So yeah, it's really tough to part with. But we really want this house. So yeah, that's the bad news, and the good news, can I buy it on a payment plan? We're not going down that route again.
Yes, you can. There's a 42% interest rate though if you don't pay it back by the third full moon in 2026.
Ultimately, Joanna and I, for those of you guys who don't know, we are moving in 2024, a couple of months from now, and we're trying to get a house with either a full basement or a large space that we can showcase our collection and continue to make content. So I look at this as an investment for the future. You know, I'm not selling this because I all of a sudden don't like Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man, and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man actually happens to be my favorite of the 3 Spider-Man actors. But at the end of the day, I really, really want to get a house that allows us to be in the same spot for hopefully the next 5 to 10 years. Yes, Kelsey. No. It was not. Yeah, it was not Joanna's decision. Actually, Kelsey, the house that we are looking at, yes, is in Pennsylvania. So we're excited about that. No.
Nobody's blaming you, Joanna.
Joanna is not to blame. I think she almost fainted when I told her that I had picked this one out to unfortunately move on to another collector. It's not easy because I remember this one. I remember when I purchased this one. I remember the person I got it from. I was super stoked to get it in the collection. I think I actually have an unboxing of this pop. I think it was like one of the first like mail hauls that I did on the channel. But anyway, it's the good news and the bad news. I'm very excited about potentially getting our first house and having more space to make content, but that is going to require some sacrifices. And hopefully after a few years, and hopefully the channel's still doing great, and hopefully this doesn't appreciate too much in value, and I can get it for the collection again. So back to you, Vince.
So we actually have I think it's going to be Saturday's video. Right now, this is the game plan. It's going to be Saturdays. We did our top 5 mystery box companies of 2023, which I was surprised. We never did this before. We never ranked the mystery box companies that I can remember. Maybe we did. You know what? I just said we didn't. Maybe we did. I don't remember. But we did our top 5 mystery box companies. We used some criteria that one of those was return on what we paid. And there were some surprises. There were some big surprises. So I think you guys will enjoy that. I'm hoping that's going to be on Saturday. I'm just pulling clips of some of our polls from the year. So we'll have that. Then going into the following week, we're going to have our top 5 polls of the year, one of which was over $1,000 pop. And then we got a couple other big hits from the year. So we're going to have that as well. And then we got mystery box openings in between all of that. And we'll be on Whatnot on Tuesday if anybody wants to come on and hang out for a little bit. That's all.
Okay.
I'll still be a Rangers fan no matter what state I'm in, just FYI.
So we got a video should be coming out tomorrow. Some fun mystery box goodies and another surprise for you. And then we'll have what's coming out this week. There was also we have a bigger mystery box coming out for next week from Ralphie's that we haven't opened. So all Freddy mystery box. So that'll be coming out next week.
I think we got ours in too.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one.
Yeah, I need to open that one. Then what else do we have coming up? Of course, soda auction next week. So if you're looking for some sodas and having some fun, I think it's going to be like the double soda box. So one open, one sealed. So everyone will have a chance. Maybe you'll get double chases. Maybe you'll get some other things, but odds are going to be great with them. And then a lot of fun opening some of those. And always a swap wall available. So swap wall if you want to swap one of your sodas and all those kind of things. So we don't know. Also, this weekend, since we have a longer weekend, plan to go through some of our collection and post a lot more things. So you'll see some stuff. We might post it just on Instagram, but also post the stuff for like buy now, marketplace on Whatnot and things like that. So if you see something like that, let me know if you'd rather purchase it not on Whatnot or something, or if you like to purchase, or if you want to bundle it. Let's put it in the show and you can bundle it together for cheaper shipping. Wish they would work out that for a marketplace.
One day.
One day.
One day. That sounded like it was coming. So pretty soon, hopefully. But remember for 20 months this week, Collectibles.
That's crazy.
Thanks for hanging out.
Not far away from 2 years. That's crazy.
Have we been doing this for 20 months?
20 months.
Yep.
20 months or more. Or more, maybe.
I think more.
Kelsey, I don't want to say it what part just yet because we're holding our breath here. The housing
They don't want to
market
jinx it.
Yeah, the housing market has been crazy. So yeah.
I'll find out after the show and let you know, Kelsey.
And the last thing I wanted to share, let's see if I can get it up. I can share it on the screen. So one of the things, of course, that's coming up that we're doing, and I actually just set it to post too, so you'll see it on our Instagram as well. But we wanted to go ahead and remind everyone that we're doing our charity auction coming up on February 9th, and maybe I'll have some of our friends here show up and hang out with us too on February 9th. It's a Friday, so we're going to start at 7 p.m. and then go through the night with whatever we have. I'm going to donate several things from our own personal collection, but if we get also some things from other people, just hit me up on Instagram, or if you need to hit me up some other way, let me know. Of course, email or something like that or whatever. But I just want to I'll send you the shipping information, but also so I know what's coming, kind of have a heads up and those kind of things. But we're trying to get everything by the Friday before. So we can get everything by that Friday before. That'll give us a chance to go through everything and get it out there. I didn't want to hit people up till after the holidays. So those kind of things, I wanted to make sure everyone had a chance to get over the holidays. Also, the holiday mail is a mess usually. So now that's kind of done. I wanted to let people know if you have sodas, pops, any designer toys or anything else you want to donate, it all goes to scholarships. This is our 8th auction for scholarships, by the way. So our 8th auction, we do it twice a year, typically in like August, September, and then again in February. So we're looking forward to this 8th auction. We've done some great things. We raised a lot of money for scholarships. Last time it got us the endowed scholarship over $30,000 total.
Wow.
So endowed scholarship has been over 30,000 now. So we want to keep doing stuff, and we have a big dream auction coming in February, and that's where we donate this at. So a big old dream gala. It's the 40th dream gala event. So hopefully we can raise some money to donate at that event. Yeah. That's what we got going on. So all kinds of fun stuff. Fun hanging out with everyone tonight. We got a lot of different conversations going, things going. I think a lot of things to look forward to. So if you haven't, of course, checked out all our channels for some weird reason, you need to go over there and check out all our channels and subscribe. Check out our Instagrams. Come over to our Whatnot. Whatever way you want to do and hang out with us, we always appreciate it. We have fun on Thursday nights. But anything else you guys have to add?
Go Lions!
Smash the like button on your way out.
Smash the like button on your way out. I appreciate everyone hanging out with us. All we had over like 120, 30, 40 people in here tonight hanging out with us.
Great crowd.
We appreciate everyone that hung out with us. So
always do.
Again, we will see you next week on Vince's channel, right? Yeah.
Vinny for president.
Really?
Yeah, all the way back to you. So
let's do it.
Vince's channel next week. So we'll see you then. And anyone else have any regular lives coming up this week? I don't think we have anything.
We are doing our 30K live, not this week, but the following week.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everyone, we'll see you next time on another PFO. Bye, everyone.
This is my new sign off.
I like